Neil, let me ask you first for some comments, then I have a very few introductory comments, and then we'll go to Steve Callis.
Yes, very briefly. I just wanted to welcome you all to the eye of the storm. As I think the events of the last week have once again proven, is that the topics that you are engaged in are absolutely essential for the future of TriMet and to our success in running a high-quality, safety and service-focused organization. And so I once again want to thank you all for your engagement on that, reinforce how important this engagement is, reinforce that your honest, open dialogue and opinions about the topics that we've been covering over the last few months and will continue to cover occur. I think you have a very engaging agenda tonight. You'll begin to understand a little bit more about, frankly, the operations environment at TriMet, how we begin to establish routes, how we cut routes, sort of the safety department, what's involved in their activities on a regular basis. And so I think you'll learn a lot. When I mentioned the eye of the storm, obviously we've had a major incident that has caught the imagination, if you will, if not the attention of much of the country, which was, of course, the e-reader operator on line 96. Obviously, we've gone through fact-finding related to that particular situation. And we've this afternoon had a meeting with the operator and union representative, and we're able to announce at the end of the day that the operator was terminated. You should know that there's a lot of history, and I won't go into the particulars of this one particular incident or person, but I do want to just reinforce for you how important it is that we really address the overall topic of how do you make safety a fundamental value of everybody at TriMet, everybody who steps behind a wheel, everybody who steps into a garage, anybody who steps across the threshold as a TriMet employee needs to have that fundamental value of safety. And obviously, we haven't gotten through to some people the way we need to. I would reinforce that my impression is that perhaps 99.9% of our operators are high on that score. But there are some people we haven't gotten through to, and we need to. And your help in helping us figure out how will be most welcome. There's also obviously lots of other issues that we've dealt with, including the additional safety devices, our buses, all those sorts of things. But I think fundamentally we need to figure out how to make sure that that value is embedded in everybody, so that we don't have repeats of any kind of accident in the system. I happened to be on the line 17 coming down from the Pearl District today, and I saw a car dart out from a stop sign right in front of the bus. The operator was right on his job and brought that bus to a very controlled stop, avoided an accident by literally inches. Nothing that operator could do, but he did a superb job. And I know that happens every day in 101 situations around the city. And some situations where accidents occur that cannot be avoided. That said, I want more operators like I was lucky to be enough on his bus this afternoon and avoided that major collision. You've heard a lot from many of the operators over time, so I won't dwell on that. But I think we've got a great reservoir and great advice from operator Carter and many others that you've talked to over these deliberations, and I think you have a good picture of how much nearly all of the TriMet workforce cares about this topic. So looking forward to your deliberations this evening as well. Certainly happy to answer any questions, but turn it over to opening remarks from.
Stay with us for just a minute, Neil. A couple of comments. One, the operator's action this afternoon on line 17 frankly doesn't surprise me in the least. I've just seen it time and time again that people are well trained, people care. I'm more than pleased with it, but it doesn't surprise me in the least. A Conversely, the action of an operator reading a Kindle book, driving through the Twilgar curves, just appalls me. I almost can't conceive of it, and the lesson I would draw from that goes back to something you've all heard me say, which is the Peter Kiewit son's view on safety, which is you can control the incident, you cannot control the consequences. Remind us, sometime months ago, you published a standard operating procedure that all electronic devices were to be stored while operating the bus.
That's correct.
When was that?
Well, it must have been about mid-July.
Okay.
It was shortly after I became general manager. And I might also note that we have updated that procedure, which was one of the recommendations of the top-to-bottom safety review that the K&J firm that you talked with over your deliberations as well recommended that we do, and update that to be more generic related to all electronic devices. That has since been done. And actually, today we're taking, of course, the extra precaution in making sure that that procedure gets out to every operator, both at work and at home. So we make sure that we deliver it to everybody.
Is it fair to say that, and we saw it in our packet today, but the document that went out yesterday doesn't fundamentally expand on the, in effect, the order that you delivered in July?
No.
Okay. Questions for Neil?
No, I mean,
Shirley?
as an operator, it was the instructions that Neil gave were perfectly clear, and they were perfectly understandable.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've said it well. Things which are clear and understandable, which an individual chooses not to understand, is a clear choice by that individual that they're seeking employment elsewhere. Wish them well, but they're seeking employment elsewhere. Okay. Neil, thank you. Only comment I have is progress report. We've made a lot of headway in our last, 6 meetings. We have after tonight 2 more scheduled. I would like to recommend to the task force that on Wednesday, October 13th, when we currently do not have a meeting scheduled, that we convene one. It'll be a work session. I think we need it. At the meeting on the 6th, we will have draft recommendations for the report. I think we serve Neil and TriMet best if we can add 1 meeting Wednesday the 13th. I would be completely open as to time. It'll be a good 2-hour session. Be a work session, and that would allow us to complete our work and deliver a final task force report as we are scheduled to do on October 20th.
I have, if anyone else has, I have a commitment from 4 p.m. on that day, but so if we could do it earlier in the day at 1 o'clock would be better.
Perfect. Anybody else have information on their calendar at this moment? All right. Let's do this, Josh, if we could. We will say we're scheduled for Wednesday, the 13th, 1 o'clock at Center Street.
Okay.
If you would send everybody, including the 3 who are not here tonight, an email and ask for confirmation of that. What we could be flexible about is time, so long as it is earlier, but not later than, because Rob's got the 4 o'clock.
Certainly.
And we'll add that. Perfect. Steve Callis, data and analysis on incident.